Hey everybody, it's me, Pam, Dragon Moon Creations. Welcome back to my channel. I got a fancy background here today. It's a cereal box. But there's a reason it's a cereal box. It's because I made a journal. I was watching, who was it? The Paper Outpost. I think her woman's name's actually Pam. Hi, Pam. I don't think she subscribes to my channel. Anyway, she was saying, "Oh, let's make something out of a box." Well, you know, a journal out of a box. So I've been using boxes for journal covers for a few years now, but it just kind of got me interested again in making a journal out of a box. So I made mine out of a box like this. This is a cereal box, and this particular journal cover was made out of a Corn Chex box. So I put it as the background for my journal to show you. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of how. I will do some why, but the cover is made of a cereal box. The only thing I did differently is that I learned a long time ago that it's really hard if you just use a cereal box like this, and use this as your spine. And I said for years that I had done it. I have a big, my Halloween goth journal is just like this. It's this big, and I never cut anything. But then it also, if you don't cut here, if you're using a paper cover, if you don't cut here, your paper will crack along where it bends right here. And so I have taken two. I'm not prepared. Hang on just a second. And I sneezed right before I started this, so now my nose is running. Hang on. Can't find it. Oh, there it is. Never mind. I found it. No, it didn't. Well, for crying out loud. Oh, there it is. I'm coming back, I promise. Sorry about that. I've taken to doing this. I'll cut it at the, I cut this one way down. I cut it at the right here, and then I cut to make the spine the size I want, and then I use athletic tape to put it back together. It makes it real pliable like that. So that is what I did when I made this one. So it makes it nice and pliable like this, so it doesn't get stiff. Although I noticed when she did hers, you know, she made the cloth, she covered it with cloth. Sorry, I got my Kleenex. She covered it with cloth, so it doesn't break because it's cloth, right? But if you want to make paper, and I'll show you another one that I have started out of paper, and I did it the very same way, and it still cracked. And I think it cracked because I bent it while it was still wet. But this is a thinner cloth tape. It's athletic tape, and it still cracked right there. See it cracking? And I think it's because it was wet when I bent it, and I shouldn't have. I should have waited a little bit longer. But anyway, I'm still going to use it. I'm still going to make this little one right here. And this box is a Folgers Vanilla Biscotti coffee pod for your Keurig. Anyway, back to this one, right? Okay, we got the box. I used the whole box because I got I made it 6x6, and I used like 6x6 here, 6x6 here, and this is what I had left of the box. That after I got done with it, that's all I had left of this big box. But and I got two and then two, and I was going to make two journals, but then I realized that I wanted to use the other cardboard chipboard of the box to make these little panels to glue to the front, because in her tutorial she covered the inside like this, so all of your pretty stuff is on the inside, and then, you know, you've got some raw edges here along the outside, and she put paper and stuff on hers. But I just went ahead and used the other two squares of cardboard that I had left, cardboard chipboard, And cardboard to me is the stuff that has the corrugation in the middle of it. Chipboard's just this flat stuff. So anyway, and I did that. And I used book pages, inked them up. I have several different styles going on here. This is some paper that I used paper inside that I wouldn't normally use, or I had scraps of that and that's all I had left of it. So I used this. I wasn't going to use this for anything. And, you know, I found a pad of paper somebody had given to me, somebody local, not somebody that they'd gifted it to me here on YouTube. And then I had some music paper out of a music book, put that on there, and then I had this big bolt of, that's Ada cloth, and I had a strip like this that I had been messing around with, you know, making the frayed edges, and that's Ada cloth, and I inked it a little bit, and had these are cardboard button stickers that I had gotten in a rack a long time ago. Let's get them up there. These right here. Buttons and twine, cardboard stickers. And me, I never read the cardboard sticker part, and I didn't know that they were stickers, so I was punching them out of there, but I used that one, that one, and I still got a bunch left. So, using stuff I've had for years out of my stash, and to be honest, it's like, I didn't really care how it turned out. I know that sounds horrible, but I just wanted to use some scraps and I've been collecting cereal boxes for a very long time. Ever since I went on my no-fat diet, I ate a lot of cereal for breakfast, and I hate to throw this away, so I've been looking for a way to use it, and I did. This is just some muslin that I tea-dyed. It was unbleached. It was bleached muslin, but I tea-dyed it, if that makes any sense. And then I just used another one of those panels, and I just used a plain book page on the back, inked up. I don't know what that book was. It was a book of it was one of the books I got for free at the library. And I did put book corners on, and boy, those things were a real booger. I had gotten these book corners from AliExpress, I think. And this one, it went on all crooked. I don't know if you can see that or not. Like that. I keep forgetting I don't have to turn my stuff upside down. But that was hard. That was tough. And I just left this frayed here. I used 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it was 4 holes. But then the way I sewed it in, this is blank. And I don't even know what I'm going to do. I might do something there. All right, enough about the cover. My gosh. How long are we in? 5, 6, 7 minutes? And I haven't even got to open the book yet. All right, open the book. I didn't put any pockets on the front. This was some paper that I had in a paper pad. I think it might have been something I got from Joann's back when I first started scrapping and doing stuff. And I don't even know how many pages are in my signatures. And it looked like this because I've got paper bags in there. Because I was going to make a 4-signature book, and turned out my spine was too wide. And so I said, okay, I'll make 2 signatures and 2 of regular paper and 2 signatures of paper bags. So I ended up 4 signatures with the paper bag in the center, and it kind of turned out kind of cool. All right, and most of it is just this paper right here is lined paper that I removed from a composition book. And all you have to do when you get those composition books is just cut all those threads that are right down the center. Just cut them all, and you take the papers out whole. And I cut them to size, and they're book pages. There's more of this, and I used ink on this cardboard, and I just laid it down like that. I laid it on this, and I just stamped it like that. And then there's some more, and then there's envelopes. I had a whole, I'm in my 90, I don't want you to say. I had a whole bunch of these from where, you get bills or whatever, and my husband does bill paying online, so I had a bunch of these. So I started using those. And I just used a whole one, but I cut it in the center. I folded it over like this. Like that. And then wherever this was right here, I cut it like this. Wherever the fold was, I cut just to the other side of the fold. Like that. And this is literally how I did it. Like that. And then That way it opens up on each side. Okay. Weird flip through. And you can put stuff down in here. I didn't put anything in there, and then there's more pages. I'd left this blank dictionary that I got free at the library. There was a time there I was going to the library for the free books, and they had, I didn't buy, well, some of them, a couple of them I paid 50 cents a piece for, but then there was just, then they were just on the free shelf, and I just took them, and I must have got 7, 8, 9 dictionaries that way. And there's the center of my signature, all the same, you know, there's that, so you can put it on this side too. I'm just going to go through, and this was another, you know, another piece of paper, and all my signatures are the same. Some of this is like, the scrappy stuff is different, but you can add, there's spaces to write, and again, there's my stamping, and there's that thing, there's some more paper, and there's another piece of that paper. I didn't stamp that, but there's some. Okay, then we go through all that signature, and then there's my paper bag signature. And then I said, well, I just don't want plain paper bag, because it would have just looked like this in there. I don't want plain paper bag. So I sit here, and the longest part of making this journal, literally, was collaging the paper bags. But I collaged them, and then the cut off, I had a bunch where I trimmed the paper down to size, so I had a bunch of this. I'm going to make little books, little notepads out of these. And I cut them, and then I collaged, and I cut. I didn't ink any of this. And it still has the, where you can put something down in there. And then I put, like, on a lot of them, these little things were going to be hard to use, so I just put them together. You know, I just put them together. 2 pieces together, so you can just write straight across. And same thing here. And then here, I used more of those envelopes. And what I did was I cut them in half, and I put a little bead of glue down here, and just used it like that. And I did a little collaging, and I actually have a Fiskars, yeah. And it's a handheld punch, and it punches, and it looks like a stamp. So I put that because it's an envelope. And then I did the same thing here, and then. See? And here we got another one of those envelopes. I don't know why that one's so much narrower, but you can put a little something in there. Yeah. And right here is how I sewed it in. Was, since these bags weren't as wide as the other signatures, I went ahead and came up in this hole and went down in that one, and it's kind of loose. And it's anchored by a stitch there and a stitch there all the way through. But the way it is that stitch doesn't appear, you know, there's nothing on the outward spine. But so it looks all the same here, but on the inside, actually, I used the holes, but the only thing anchoring that bag is there's there and there. But it's kind of, but that's okay. That's fine. It's going to stay in there. And there's some more. And then I kind of turned the bag around different on this one, and there's on that side, and oops, there's a little bit. Needs more glue right there. I'll go ahead and glue that down. What I did was, sometimes when you use, I've used glue stick, and sometimes glue stick doesn't stick as well as it's supposed to. So, and then the last one again is just one of those little envelopes, but you can, yeah, you can write there. And then there's that, and then there's this signature, like it again, more paper that I would not have used. And for anything, I literally cut it. Some of it's scrap, and some of it's like this was a scrap, but some of it I literally cut the sheet to use it. There's a whole piece of that, which like it was over here because it's the other half of this, and I just used it inside the signature. And it was a good way to get rid of some paper that I didn't really like. And the way, when I sewed this in, the way I got it to skip that middle and it'd be blank in here, is I went down through this hole, came up through this hole, and then came all the way across and went down through that hole and came up through this hole so there was nothing in between, and then tied it off. I know some people aren't going to understand. And look, that's even all stained. Water stain. And there's another piece of, you know. But those are the same. And these composition books, I think I got them for like $1.25 a piece at shop when school's about to start. When they get school supplies out, you $1.25 a piece. Otherwise, you pay $1 a piece at Dollar Tree for them. And sometimes you can just find them for like 98 cents at Walmart. But then and then we go, you know, just little bits and pieces. And I think I put an extra book page. I think this one's put together differently. With the middle of the signature. That this little, see, just little pieces of paper you wouldn't normally use. And then that's the back. I'm not gonna do anything. But that was my little junk journal that I made. I couldn't tell you how many hours I have in it, but I worked like a half a day, like an afternoon, and a little bit another day, kind of morning, and then in the afternoon. And then I worked on it yesterday afternoon after I got home from work. I worked yesterday. So. But then, and I worked, you know, it's kind of heavy, but I had everything in my stash. So, there you go. Just, and whenever I say, there you go, I'm sure there's lots of experienced crafters are out there saying, yeah, there you go, just go for it. New crafters, when they're trying to figure out journaling, I would like to tell new crafters, new journal makers, that I had a lot of disappointments whenever I first started doing journals. And again, see, this is a disappointment right here that went on crooked. But when but if it's not like going to be a wedding album that you're giving away as a gift, sometimes the little mistakes are okay. Now this, like this, if you're saying, gee Pam, that's not centered, I meant it to be off center. Because if I tried to get everything perfect on here, there would be parts of it that were even and parts of it that are not. And I didn't want it to be all even. I wanted, if I made a mistake, I didn't want that mistake to stand out as a huge mistake. I wanted it to look junky. And I think I hit the mark on the junky part. And then whenever I was doing these bags right here, I said, oh, that's going to look silly. And then I said, no, it isn't. It's mine. I can do what I want, right? And I think it adds this, you're going through here and you're going through and everything's nice and kind of neat, even though some are uneven. And then you get here and you go, whoa, what the heck? It's like somebody pooped in the swimming pool, you know? It's like, oh, what'd she do? Yeah, I like it. I like it. I like it. Anyway, all right. And I wanted to tell you that ticked a couple of boxes for my 10 crafty goals for 2020. Use for my stash was number 3, and I did. More confidence, number 4, more confidence in crafting. And it used to be, I wouldn't do anything. I tried to be perfect. And I'm a very imperfect person. There are people out there that can do absolutely beautiful work, and it looks like it's perfect. But I can almost guarantee you that even in a piece that is perfect, there's a little something in there that the person that created it said, oh, I hope nobody notices that. But they work it into the piece. So more confidence in crafting for me, was letting go just a little bit. That I had to be confident that whatever was going to be was going to be. And develop as a journal maker. That was number 5. So I've hit 3, 4, and 5 on my crafty goals right here. Use my stash, more confidence in my crafting, and develop as a journal maker. And believe it or not, this is a development. For me to just sit and go plop a bunch of stuff in a book, that's a development for me. Okay? And I guess it might even expand out of my comfort zone. Although my comfort zone really does hit on making a lot of mistakes. All right, everybody. Make a journal. Get your stuff out. Get your cereal boxes. Get your coffee pod box and go for it. I don't know how this one's going to turn out. I do have another journal that I'd already started that I want to complete. I think I got burned out on cards, and now I'm kind of in my, I want to make a journal. So I'm going to probably finish the one that I started before. And even if this goes, that gets wrinkled. I don't care. Go for it. Have a good time. Make a journal. Use your stuff. That's what it's there for. It's not there to pass down in your will, Use it. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope you got some inspiration, some ideas. Thanks to Pam at the Paper Outpost. She's one of those just grab it and throw it girls, and I love it. And that's another thing. On my list. What was it? Encourage other crafters. I think I did that too by saying go for it. Go for it. Throw it. Sew it. Bye.